Can everyone hear me okay? Cool. Excellent. That was kind of a production right there, right? Yeah. But we made it. Thank you for that introduction. Deb, I really appreciate it. And also thank you to the Bergens for hosting us this weekend, yesterday evening, and having us stay at their house, and it was great. I feel like we've met before, but like it was actually like our first time like, physically actually meeting them, and so like it was always this awkward thing of like, oh yeah, we know who they are because everyone knows who they are in Newton, but it was like we never actually like met really, and so it was just
also you lived in our house.
Yes, and I lived in their house. So yeah, I spent a year in their house when they had gone to Ghana, and so but I had never actually met them. So it was a great time. It was kind of interesting just talking back and forth and trying to figure out some things to talk about because we already knew a lot of each other. So it was a great time, and so I really am grateful for that. As you mentioned, I graduated from Bethel College, and you guys are actually like kind of like making history right now because this is my first sermon as a recent convert to Mennonite Church, as of 2 weeks ago. And I can tell you, maybe you have never crossed denominational lines before. It feels exactly the same as when I was Baptist. So, not much has changed but the name. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for inviting me here. I'm really excited to share the word with you guys and worship with you guys. It's been a great experience so far. So growing up, as mentioned, I was raised in Garland, Texas. I was originally born in Detroit, Michigan. Didn't stay there very long. Immediately moved to Garland, Texas, where I was raised. I have a younger brother. His name is Justin. And we were both in a two-parent home, my mom and dad. And our parents were very strict. They were extremely strict. We had a lot of rules that we had to follow. We had a curfew by 10 on school nights. We had to take out trash. We had our chores to do. And so they really kept us on the straight and narrow, like keeping us disciplined, keeping us doing things, keeping us active. But there was one rule in particular that may be a little different than like other households. My mom used to have this really nice like nightstand that like she had on the side of her bed. And this wasn't just an ordinary nightstand, right? Of course it held lamps and things like that that were beside the bed. But it had a nice little drawer in there. And in that drawer was mounds upon mounds of candy. And this was Mom's secret stash of candy. Me and Justin were not allowed to touch this candy. Right? That was the number one rule in our household. Do not touch Mom's candy. Alright? My dad even had to follow that rule. Alright? So this was the number one rule. We all knew it. Like, knowing growing up, this was our rule. We were not allowed to touch Mom's candy. Now, sometimes Mom would have some grace and, she'll give us, a Snicker bar or a Twix or a Twizzler, every once in a while. But for the most part, that was her candy. We didn't touch it. Well, one day, Mom goes to the store, and I'm old enough to be at home myself, so I'm taking care of Justin and everything, so we're hanging out. And I remember being in my room. We had separate rooms at the time, and I was in my room playing a video game, because I love video games, Xbox for life. And so we're playing a video game, or I'm playing a video game, and I go just to check on my little brother, see what he's doing and everything. So I walk into his room, and there is like a bunch of candy in his room. And I'm sitting here like, Justin, where'd you get all this candy? And he's like, oh, I got it from Mom's dress, don't tell her, And I'm like, I won't tell her if you give me a piece of that candy. Right? And so here we are, there's just snacking on Mom's candy, right? Like not caring the world, hanging out, like eating this candy. And Mom comes to the front door, and she opens the door and comes in, and we're like, okay, how do I wrap this and everything? But like, clearly there's no more candy in Mom's drawer, right? And so she finds out, of course, and she comes up to us, and the first thing I do is point at Justin. I'm like, Justin stole it, Justin took the candy, this, that, and the third. And she was like, Jerrell, did you have any of that candy? And I was like, I had one or two. I had like 13, but one or two. She was like, then you are just as guilty as he is. You are in the same boat. Yeah, he may have done the act of taking the candy, but you're right there with him. You partook in that. You ate some of that. You benefited from Justin taking a candy. You were guilty by association. Now, I know the story sounds funny, but how many times does that happen today? How many times are we guilty by association? How many times have we been silent in the face of oppression? You see, we all benefit from this thing called privilege. According to Peggy McIntosh, privilege is defined as, and I quote, when one group has something of value that is denied to others simply because of the groups that they belong to rather than because of anything they've done or failed to do. Access to privilege doesn't determine one's outcomes, but it is definitely an asset to make it more likely that whatever talent, ability, and aspiration a person with privilege has will result in something positive for them. There are different types of privilege. There's white privilege, to where one receives benefits based off of them either being white or even looking white. There's male privilege. This is where, as a man, I gain more benefits than some women. There's even Christian privilege in America, where we as Christians can feel relatively safe for our beliefs, while Muslims are being persecuted within our country. Now, I know that this may sound a little invasive, saying that everyone has this kind of privilege. And even the idea of saying that, oh, well, I don't really try to use my privilege, I don't really have that, I don't really use that. But the key to privilege is that we don't ask for it. We benefit from privilege every day without even realizing it. Now, in order for someone to have privilege, there inherently has to be someone that is underprivileged. Right? Makes sense, right? Someone has more privilege, someone has underprivilege. The same way that if someone is rich, inherently, someone has to be poor. There's limited resources. If I have more than someone else, then that somebody else has less. Every day there is oppression going on around us, but many times we don't call it out. This happens for several different reasons. Either we haven't been trained to even recognize privilege, or we just ignore it because we don't feel like oppression affects us. We remain silent when our brothers and sisters of color are hurting. We remain silent when our Muslim brothers and sisters are hurting. They cry out for help, but yet we remain silent. We sit back and enjoy our privilege. We say to ourselves, well, it doesn't affect me, so I don't need to worry about it. But the key is, the truth is, our silence in the face of oppression is oppression. We have chosen the side of oppression when we refuse to speak out for justice. We cannot stay neutral on these topics. Our text this morning comes from the book of Amos, who is by far my favorite prophet. Now, a little background about Amos. Amos was born in a small town called Tekoa in the southern kingdom of Judah. Alright, so they had two kingdoms, northern kingdom, southern kingdom. Southern kingdom was Judah, northern kingdom was Israel. Alright? And the Bible describes him as a simple shepherd. Right? Amos 1:1, he's described as a shepherd, but that is not necessarily the case. If we look at the Hebrew word, I finally found a use for Hebrew in class. Look at the Hebrew word in the passage is nakarim, which doesn't mean simple shepherd. It actually means the owner of large flock of sheep. Right? It also describes him as being an owner of a fig farm. So, Amos had some money. Right? He wasn't just an ordinary shepherd, right? We're not talking about the David story, right? Little small shepherd boy, stuff like that. No, Amos had some wealth, right? Also, his call was to go to the northern kingdom of Israel and tell them how they've been messing up. Now, that is like me from Texas coming up to West Virginia, knowing nothing about West Virginia, and saying like, hey man, you guys are all doing everything wrong. Right? not very well received in like a Texan accent, if I have it back in the way. Praise the Lord. All right. And so he was basically called to go to Israel and tell them about how they're messing things up because they oppress the needy. They oppress the poor, right? The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. And Amos is like, God is not like this. Y'all need to stop. So, in the passage, I'll just go ahead and reread it. Hear this word, you cows of Bashan, who are on Mount Samaria, excuse the sexist language, who oppress the poor, who crush the needy, who say to their husbands, bring me something to drink. The Lord God has sworn by his holiness, the time is surely coming upon you when they shall take you away with hooks, even the last of you with fish hooks. Through breaches in the wall you shall leave, each one straight ahead, and you shall be flung out into harmony. You see, the women of Samaria weren't directly oppressing the poor. Right? It's very clear that this was their husbands doing. Their husbands were going out, working the jobs that oppressed the poor, taking money from the poor. But they were benefiting from the oppression of the poor. And that's the key. That makes them guilty. They refused to speak out against the oppression, and they even sought to benefit from it. Amos, speaking on behalf of God, considered them to be guilty by association. Brothers and sisters, how many times have we been guilty by association? How many times have people in our country cried out for their lives and we ignored them? We are just as guilty as the ones directly oppressing them. We are guilty by association. Goes on in verses 4 and 5. Verse 4 is my favorite verse. Come to Bethel and transgress, to Gilgal and multiply transgression. Bring your sacrifices every morning, your tithes every 3 days. Bring a thank offering of leavened bread and proclaim free will offerings. Publish them, for so you love to do, O people of Israel. So, what Amos is referring to here is that the Israelites at this time were oppressing the poor and the needy, but they were still going to church. They were still going to the temple, making their sacrifices, making their tithes, and trying to live the right religious life. They were still there making their worship, making their sacrifices. What's up, Will? And they were doing everything right when it came to worship. They paid their tithes. They done everything correct. But they did not stand up for social justice. And that still made them guilty. Brothers and sisters, there is no such thing as right worship when we live our lives full of oppression. We cannot come to church on Sundays and sing our hymns, pay our tithes, and fellowship with each other in worship while contributing to the oppression that people are facing in our own backyards. No, we can't remain silent in the face of social justice while we come into our safe congregations and try to worship. God condemns that action, for we are just as guilty for our silence. Recently, Sierra, my wife, and I got to a huge argument. I had just come home from my work-study job on campus, and Sierra asked me if I had wanted to go out and do something. Anyway, so she asked me if I wanted to go hang out, and I say, I didn't want to, but sure, we can go somewhere. Right? Exact words. When I was actually typing up this sermon, I used a different term, and Sierra was like, no, your exact words were this. So I had to make sure I put that in there. She corrected me. She then looked at me suspiciously and said, well, you don't have to go if you don't want to. I said to her, well, I don't really feel like it, but I'll go anyways, right? Because I love you, so I'll go, right? That's love. She then proceeds to get mad at me for this. And I was so confused. Like, I was sitting there like, why is she so mad about this? Like, I agreed to go, we're going to do what she wanted to do. It made complete sense. In my logic, right? So I go up to her, I ask her, I was like, why are you so mad? Why are you mad? And she said, She said some words that I'll never forget this day. She said, Jerrell, I want you to want to do things with me. If you don't want to do something, just say no. For it is better for you to say no than for us to do it and you just sit there regretting it. I want you to want to be there with me. Now, I will be honest, it took me forever to realize what that meant. Sierra wanted from me was love. That's what she wanted. She didn't want me to just go through the motions. She wanted me to love spending time with her. She wanted me to love hanging out. If we were going to do something that I really didn't want to do, then she didn't want to be there. Our next passage was from, our secondary passage was from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 1 through 3. If I speak in the tongues of mortals and angels, but do not have love, I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give away all my possessions, and if I hand over my body so that I may boast, but do not have love, I am nothing. Brothers and sisters, we can't truly worship God without love for our neighbor. This love must be able to stand up against oppression. We can't have right worship while staying silent in the face of oppression. We cannot call ourselves Christians if we're living lives that oppress others. For we are just as guilty as those who directly oppress people when we remain silent. We cannot be silent anymore. For our silence is heard loud and clear in the ears of people of color, women, refugees, and Muslims. We're all guilty by association. It is time for us to show solidarity and engage in true worship. Peace.